Hi Silem stars, you're welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'm going to show you guys how to make different kinds of ruffle designs that you can attach to your sleeves and any other part of your dress. So if you want to see how we do this, definitely keep on watching.
Oh, hey, I didn't see you there.
To create the ruffles, we're going to use 2 yards of our organza fabric and a 2-inch wide crinoline. So now the first thing we're going to do is we're going to draft the flounce, that's the spiral flounce. On my pattern paper, I'm just going to get the midpoint of the pattern paper, and that's why I'm drawing this cross so I can get the midpoint. At that midpoint, I'm going to go out by 2 inches all the way around to create a circle. And it's this circle we're going to use to create that spiral flounce. So just mark 2 inches all the way around till you get a nice circle. And then we're going to connect all the points together like so. Now once you're done with that, the next thing you're going to do is you're going to measure 4 inches. Now this will depend on how wide you want your ruffle to be. For me, I want mine to be 4 inches wide, so I just marked 4 inches from the edge of that circle, and then I connected it to one side of the circle. Now to create the flounce, I'm going to keep marking that same 4 inches from the circle all the way around. Okay, so can you see that I've gone ahead to connect that 4 inches to the new line that I had marked? So you're going to keep marking that 4 inches all the way around. So as you're marking the 4 inches, you're going to start marking the 4 inches from the outer circle. Okay, so as you keep going, just make sure you keep marking 4 inches from the outer circle, and then we'll keep connecting all the points to create that spiral shape. Now once you get to the end of your paper, you can just go ahead and connect it to the rest of the circle, and then we're going to cut that out. So this is basically how to create that spiral. It's very easy. So just pay attention to the lines that I'm cutting. And then once we're done, we're going to see that we're going to cut out that initial circle. Okay, so you need to cut out the initial circle to get your flounce. So this is what it looks like. Can you see? So now we're going to transfer this to the fabric. I'm using 2 yards of organza. I folded it in half, and then I also folded it yet again, okay, because I want to cut 2 ruffles. So I'm folding it so I can cut both ruffles at the same time. Now because I have some extra fabric on my flounce, on my organza rather, I have some extra fabric on my organza. I'm just extending the spiral a bit more with one extra layer. If your fabric is wider, you can even add more layers of the spiral. Okay, depends on how much fabric you have. And then I'm going to go ahead and cut that out. So I'm just cutting the organza the same way I cut the pattern paper. So just follow the spiral shape and just cut it out. So this is what we have. I've gone ahead to take out one of the ruffle pieces, and then this is the second one I have. So now when it comes to sewing this, you have two layers of the organza fabric. So you're going to place them right on top of each other, and then you're just going to trim that corner. You don't want it to be boxy, you just want it to be a nice curve. So just trim off any corner that is sharp. And then now the next thing I'm going to do is to place the crinoline at the hem, and then go ahead to sew it down with 1/4 inch seam allowance. I'm going to show you how I sew it on my sewing machine. So I've gone ahead to sew it down. So this is what it looks like once I've sewn the crinoline. So we're going to fold the crinoline and then sew at the top, okay? Like I said, you can make your organza wider if you want, but for me, I want mine to just be 4 inches wide. So when you're sewing the top part of the crinoline, make sure you gather the crinoline slightly, okay? So just push the crinoline slightly, because remember that the bottom part of this ruffle is wider than the top part of the ruffle, okay? So that will help you to sew the crinoline in place. So this is what it looks like once we're done. So you just go ahead and iron it neatly, and then it's time for you to attach the flounce to any part of your piece. I want to attach the flounce to this sleeve you see right here. So I'm just drawing that spiral shape. So just draw a circle and then keep going round and round and round, just to create that spiral shape. Now you don't need to get all the way to the top or the sides of your sleeve, okay? So leave some space at the top and by the sides, so that you can shape in your sleeve and attach it to your piece. Now I'm placing the organza right from the center. Now you can do this in two ways. You can either start from the center and go all the way outwards, or you can start from the outer circle and then work your way to the inner circle, okay? Whichever one you want is fine. I started with from the inner circle outwards, but I decided to do it the reverse way. But whichever one you do is fine. So while you're sewing the organza to your sleeve, following that spiral shape, you have to create little pleats as you go along, okay? Just create tiny pleats, so it will help it to be very ruffled and pronounced, okay? If you just sew it as it is, it's just going to be flat. But when you create pleats, it's going to make it stand even more. So this is what it looks like. Can you see? Very beautiful. So once you go ahead and shape in your sleeve, it's going to look like this. So lovely. Now I've decided to put in a bit of design right at the center, so it looks like a beautiful flower. But it's optional, obviously you don't need to do this, but this is how I like to do it. Now using that same spiral method, I'm going to show you another way to create ruffles. Still the same method, but you can attach this one to any part of your piece. For this one now, this is your actual sleeve, so you need to sew it to the rest of your dress. But I'm going to show you how to use the same spiral method, but then you can attach it to any part of your piece. So another way you can do this spiral ruffles is that you can take a piece of fabric and then just create that spiral shape and then sew the organza all the way, and this is what you're going to have. Now this piece now can be attached to any part of your dress. It can be attached to any part of your dress. Now for this one you're seeing on the waist here, I actually sewed the organza right on the dress, but for the one you're seeing on the shoulder, I sewed it to a piece of fabric and then hand tacked it to the shoulder of my piece, okay? Now moving on to the next style of ruffles that we can create, still using the same organza that we created, the same flounce organza we created. I'm just going ahead to just sew it to a band. So this is a 2-inch wide band. So in case you have like an off-shoulder dress, you can do this method, okay? You can also use this as a sleeve in itself, so like a cold shoulder sleeve, okay? You can also use this as a band, maybe on the waist or any part of your dress. So it's very versatile. So once you just sew a straight line with your organza, make sure you create your pleats. Once you get to one end, you're going to flip the organza fabric and then continue pleating it, making sure that they are facing the same direction. Now for this method, it's advisable you use the crinoline that matches the color of your organza, so that nobody can tell the difference between the crinoline and the actual organza fabric. But once you get to the other end, you flip the organza and then sew to the other end. So that's basically how this one is done. Very easy, and this is how it's going to look. It turns out very, very beautiful. So you can use this as a sleeve, maybe an off shoulder sleeve. You can also attach this all the way around the off shoulder, you know, just like this, around the off shoulder, just to create a lovely, lovely look. This is how it's going to look like if you use it as a sleeve. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you all in my next video. Bye.